Hi, this is Rachel from off-road.cc, and today we're taking a first look at the Rocky Mountain Altitude. So this bike was released back in about April this year, I think. We have got in an alloy version of the bike, so we're looking at the Altitude Alloy 30, which is the cheapest model in the lineup. This one comes in at £2,800, but if you want a full-blown carbon version, you can spend up to £7,000 on one of these things. So this bike is what Rocky Mountain call their aggressive trail bike. So it's got 150mm of rear suspension, 160mm at the front, and people are sort of dubbing it as the Mini Slayer, which is Rocky Mountain's enduro bike. The Rocky Mountain is quite an interesting bike. It features their Ride 9 geometry, which is a chip system, which means you can alter the geometry. More on that later. So the geometry of this bike, we're testing a medium bike, or I'm testing it, and as you can already tell, I have been out for a razz on it already. So this medium bike has a 432mm seat tube and a 430mm reach in the slackest position. So these figures are all for the slackest position of the bike. It's got a 65-degree head angle, 74-degree seat tube angle, and the chainstays come in at 425 with a wheelbase amounting to 1180mm. On the Altitude, Rocky Mountain use a system called the Ride 9. This is a geometry adjustment system and means you can adjust the geometry in 9 different ways. There's 2 square chips in the rocker link, and these can be moved around, and where they're placed relevant to each other give a different setting. So where other companies have a high or a low setting, Rocky Mountain have got 9 for you to choose from. The Ride 9 adjusts the head angle, the seat tube angle, and the bottom bracket drop. It also affects the reach and suspension progressivity. So in the slackest position, the suspension is the most progressive, meaning that it soaks up big hits better and doesn't fall for its travel. So the head angle can be adjusted between 65 and 66.1 degrees, with those other factors, so seat tube angle and bottom bracket drop, also being affected. It's a crazy amount of choice, and it's not one we're really sure a rider would ever need. So for example, in the slackest setting, as I said, you've got 65 degrees. The next setting is 65.2 degrees. Is this something we'd really want? We'll be having a look, having a go with all the settings, and see if it's something that does make a difference to our riding. For your £2,800, the Spec, your 160mm forks are RockShox Yaris. You get RockShox Deluxe RT, which has just got the rebound adjustment for 150mm travel on the back. There's a mixture of race face and Rocky Mountain's own components. Brakes get SRAM level brakes, which, to keep inside the price point, have got this rather chunky clamp rather than the split clamp, which means that you have to take everything off in order to adjust the reach of the brakes, but that's what you get at this price point. Elsewhere, SRAM and extra drivetrain, so the cassette is just 1142, it's no eagle, and a 32-tooth chainring with race face cranks. The wheels on this bike are Sun Duroc 30mm internal rims, which is cool, which is nice and wide. You've also got, which is probably the most pleasing thing on this bike, is 2.5-inch wide Maxxis tyres. So you've got a DHR on the rear, DHF on the front, and the only thing that could make that better is if the front was a 3C compound. They're just both EXO tyres on here. Lastly, 150mm dropper, which is cool for a medium. So even with the 430mm seat tube, 5'4" me can use a 150mm dropper with no problems. There's enough insertion for that to happen. We'll have a full review on off-road.cc soon. We'll be getting out to give this bike another ride at the weekend. Thanks for watching.